Hey everybody, welcome back to the second segment of Third and Out. This is Timmy Cannon along with my associate Nate Cannon. Nate, how you going today?
I'm going all right. I'm just chilling here before work. They switched up my schedule, so now I work in the evenings. So
I thought you were working in the evenings originally, or what's going on with that?
Well, yeah, so originally I was working in the mornings, and then they switched me to the evenings, and then they switched me back to the mornings and told me I would be doing that for the rest of the year. And then about a week and a half later, they switched me back to the evenings. So
sounds like you got a great management system in front of you there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've only been around for so long, so I guess I gotta just do whatever they tell me.
The gopher, if you will, the gopher anything.
And I will.
All right. Well, you've been training at all recently, or?
Yeah. Let's see. So this past month, October. So I guess it's not over yet, but I've been doing a 5K run every day. One of my buddies put together a bit of a challenge for some of his friends, and we've all been trying to run 5K every day. Took a few days off. I just went to the Pacific Northwest to go camping, so a little survival instinct enhancement up there. So took a few days off. We didn't really, there was no showers or anything like that, so I didn't want to be all disgusting for the 3-day camping trip. But yeah. Also,
yeah, fair enough, son.
Yeah, and really, I guess I kind of look at it as the 5K a day is more of a training for the game, right? So the 5K a day is kind of like, like I said, a challenge that one of my buddies put together, and then really I'm doing that because I play in a adult soccer league here in New Orleans. And I also fill in a flag football team as well every once in a while. I've played a couple games, but yeah, mostly I've been starting on the adult soccer league team, and I'm by far the worst player on the team. So my only thing is that I'm way more in shape than everyone else on the team. So I feel like the running is kind of like a training for the soccer, which is kind of like a training for the flag football, which is kind of like a training for the Cranberry Bowl, of course. And Timmy,
right.
Sorry, just one more thing. I was thinking, we got Evelyn coming on later. I was thinking, who is the girl, cousin, or relative? I guess you could be an aunt or uncle. No, not uncle. Just an aunt or a girl cousin. Who is the girl relative that is tallest?
Could be an uncle these days.
Well, these days I guess anything goes. But yeah, who's the tallest girl relative we got?
That's a great question. Is it Lori?
Well, okay, so Lori, she's probably the tallest from the Knicks, right?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
And then Ronnie is the tallest from the Cannons, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. Margaret might be giving her a run for her money. I'm not sure. Ronnie's still probably the tallest.
Okay. And then it's probably either Claire or Catherine. Honestly, I don't know if I've seen Claire in a while.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I have a picture in my mind
of them in a while.
Yeah, I know. I just, whenever I picture Claire, she's like this, super tall figure because she's, so much older. So like growing up, I always viewed Claire as
wiser,
the
adult. Wiser, as we like to say here.
6-1, a baker's dozen to the other, whatever. But yeah, I always viewed Claire as like the adult of the cousins. So she was always like,
right,
very tall in my mind. But I'm not sure if that's actually the case anymore. I'm sure she's got some pretty big brothers, so
yeah,
she may not be that tall.
I'm really not sure who the tallest is. I mean, you got to figure Karen's got to be making her way up there, but yeah, I'm really not sure.
Right, and Aunt Julie, she may be as tall as Lori. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, so the reason I was thinking about this was because, I got a sister. She's 9 feet tall.
Way me boys to Cuba.
Sleeps in the kitchen with the feet in the hall.
Running down to Cuba.
Way me boys to Cuba.
Running
down to Cuba.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's all about, how many layers of training for training. The more you can compound that, it's kind of like compound interest. You really start to have exponential growth in your game. A lot of people think
that's exactly right.
A lot of people think, oh, you gotta train hard for the game. Well, you gotta train hard for the training for the game. So that's a little known fact, if you will.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I've found, at least, to be true.
Right. And
I guess anybody could really speak their truth. So maybe I don't have the truth.
Of course, as long as they're living their best life.
Exactly.
But yeah, on my end, footy wrapped up last weekend. We had nationals, and then my adult soccer league wrapped up last week. Last Monday was our last day. Playoff game. We lost in the first round. But I think I definitely showed improvement in both of those sports over the course of the year. I think the training's starting to pay off. I actually ended up scoring a goal in the soccer game, and I was up for best on ground a few times at nationals for our team. So I think it's been going well, and it's actually really funny. My soccer boots were kind of falling apart, so I got a new pair to bring to nationals. Just in case.
This is nationals for Aussie rules footy?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Osball, if you will.
Osball.
Which is kind of different, but so I got this new pair of boots just in case mine were to break, and I wore them in my last soccer game, and I really don't know what's happened, but something about these boots have made me completely left-footed. I scored left-footed in the soccer game last week, and then yesterday, one of the people from that team had me and Margaret come sub for their team, and I had a few. It was so close, hit the post, but left-footed. I really half volley put my laces through it. I don't know what happened. I know if it was my right, it would have gone sky high. So something about these new boots have made me left-footed. It's kind of funny.
Interesting. Which kind you got?
Some kind of Nike. I'd have to look it up. They're light blue. They were on clearance,
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so there you go, kids. If anybody wants to become left-footed, all you got to do go buy some light blue Nikes that you don't know what kind they are.
Preferably on clearance.
Preferably on clearance, of course.
But yeah, that's all I've been up to.
Gotcha. And you said we were talking a little bit before the show, and you said that you're about to head over to Austin again for some kind of a beach volleyball thing.
Yeah, I'm going to watch. To be completely honest with you, I don't really know what it is at all. I can't tell from looking at it if it's an open tournament that there's a good number of pros playing at. I really have no clue what it is. But Taryn and Kristen are going to be there, so I reached out to them, and they said, you can have my ticket. Well, Taryn did anyway, so I'll be going out there to see them, and I won't actually be playing. I hope anyway. That could be pretty rough.
Yeah, that'd be funny. So they are pro, right? Taryn and Kristen, they're pro now?
Yeah, they're AVP champions as well in their first year.
Oh, well, there you go.
They beat, I think in the first AVP tournament, they beat Kelly Clays and Sarah Sponsel in the championship. Two U.S. Olympians.
Yeah, that's the Olympic team. That's the Olympic B team, right?
Right. They played the top U.S. team, and a couple times they lost every time. Played them to a few close sets. Also kind of got beat down in a few sets, but that's not necessarily surprising.
No, certainly not. Although, honestly, I guess if you're really looking at it, if you're getting beat down, even if it's pros, are you really in the sport that you should be playing? I don't know.
Well, they definitely have some questions to answer after the season. But I guess we'll move forward, and Nate, we'll kick it over to the news.
Awesome. All right. So today we got some pretty good news. Last show we talked about the Uncle Mike Albanos and their holdout for the big game. Maybe waiting on TV money. Well, we don't know what it was that they were holding out. All of them were holding out for. James said he is still holding out, and he is waiting for the rosters to be released. But we did some exciting news. We did get a few bigger names than James, of course, coming out. And like we talked about, Marquis, the marquee player, Marky Mark, he declared. He was actually the first one to declare for the draft. Uncle Mike came out, said he would participate as well, and so did David. So we got at least those three from the Albanos. And hopefully James, I don't know what he's looking for in the rosters, but hopefully he'd be willing to be signed on as a free agent if he's not willing to be a part of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to hear that some of the Albanos will be playing, at least some of them. There's really there's never any telling with James. He's a bit of a loose cannon. That's what they call him, actually, loose cannon James.
Loose cannon James.
Yeah. Some people call him by his formal name, which is Cousin James and sometimes Brother James, but his kind of, I'm not sure what you call it, his nickname in the football world is Loose Cannon James.
Is it? It's not pseudonym, is it? I can't remember. What is the name of, or I guess what you call like artists? Remember in like American literature or whatever, and some of the artists had like special ways that they would write their name or something like that, or even they would go by a fake name.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe we need to bring Catherine on sometime and ask
That's
her
right.
in her professional knowledge.
That's right. Her, and I think Augie also is trying to be something in the editing/writing world, something like that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure Augie would know. He's always full of interesting information. So we should maybe reach out to him.
Oh, that's
right.
right.
Maybe we'll have some of our people reach out to him. Because
that's right.
Such a big staff here.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have our people talk to his people and see what we can work out.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, in addition to some of the Albanos declaring for the draft, another big bit of news. It's not necessarily new news, but it's important to share, especially during this episode of the radio show where we talked to Evelyn. But Evelyn is foregoing her final year as an NCAA swimmer in order to be and the proper name escapes me, but she's like the chairperson of her household at college. And basically what happened was, to my understanding, right, this is what my sources have told me, her household was going to fall apart or something like that if she didn't step up and take control. So, and then for some reason her school wouldn't let her be a swimmer and also be the head of the household, which is confusing to me. Seems like a lot of governance and rules and stuff. I'm not too big on all that.
Let the boys play,
That's exactly right.
But yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious to hear her take on that. I won't be a part of that interview, so I'm looking forward to hearing, what she says on that.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure, going directly to the source, that's just what sources have told me. And, going directly to the source, that's the best way to do journalism, in my opinion.
Right, absolutely. Sometimes, we got to get some things from our people out in the field, but we always like to find out, what the truth is for ourselves instead of relying on, someone else. But we pay them well, the guys in the field, so we trust them.
That's right. Additional piece of news about the Uncle Mike Albanos family. James and Mark seems to be they're stepping up their training game. They're preparing to take the field as a part of an intramural flag football team. And, this is one of those things where they're probably doing some training for that in the background. And, of course, that's training for the big game. So James and Mark seem to have it down when it comes to compounding interest in terms of practicing for the Cranberry Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. It's good for them to get out and train. I've actually had a decent bit of contact with James about this team, and well, let's just say it's not the Muskie Huskies. Okay, I'm not sure. I think they're a little bit understaffed over there, but that is probably a good thing for James and Mark, or should I say Loose Cannon James and Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Cousin Loose Cannon James.
Sorry, cousin Loose Cannon James. I forget that not all of our thousands of listeners are quite as familiar with him as we are.
Oh, that's right.
As we're privileged to be able to be. But I can't remember all the details, but I know there's been a few iffy performances by their team. As I'm sure cousin Loose Cannon James and Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch have been kind of leading the charge out there. I believe another associate of ours, Tyler Emick, is on that team, as well as Michael Simpson. So I know they have some good pieces around them. Obviously, the Albanos there are probably going to be leading the charge, coming from such a strong football upbringing and program over there. But it's good that they're getting in their training, and hopefully we start to see more and more people around the league pick it up.
Yeah, and you got to think, Michael Simpson, he's a pretty tall guy, right? So he's probably got some pretty good footballing ability. I wonder, though, about Tyler Emick. He's not how you say, well blessed on the height side of things. So I do got to wonder, is he really going to bring too much to the table on that team?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, as we all know, really the biggest factor in sports is physical size. Some people call him, Tyler Emick, the one who's fleet of foot, but it doesn't really matter if you're fleet of foot when it comes to sports. It's all about, height, strength, and obviously having a really high football IQ.
Right. And chief among those is height, of course, right? I mean,
right, yeah, height obviously is the
right.
Is the premier factor. Nate with the news.
Have you ever had a pilgrim decoration lying around your house around Thanksgiving time? Have you ever had plastic plates that you are not currently using? We've got just the activity for you. Hang your pilgrim decoration from a tree, grab a pilgriming dish, and go get him. Use your pilgriming dish as a frisbee and try to hit the pilgrim. To adjust the difficulty, just adjust the distance between the pilgrimer and the pilgrim. Pilgriming, the official pregame competition of the Cranberry Bowl. All right, our second guest here on Third and Out is the esteemed sister of Y Cloud's drummer Paul Nick and one of the tallest girl cousins around. My second guest on Third and Out is relative and cousin Evelyn Nick. Evelyn, how you doing?
So good. How are you, Nate?
Great. What's it like being the sister of, I guess, royalty? Paul's a drummer for one of the most well-known bands of all time, Y Clouds. What's it like?
Yeah, sometimes it can be a little difficult having all those high expectations and, I'm never going to be above him in fame. That's kind of, a downfall sometimes, but it's also really cool because I get to watch him thrive, and get to support him on in his careers.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, so I guess first question I have for you is, you recently chose to be the chairperson, I think. Is that the right terminology? The chairperson of your house at your college, or is it household?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Instead of going for your final year of NCAA swimming, how do you think? Well, first of all, do I have that story right? And second of all, how do you think that's going to affect you in the game if that's what actually happened?
Yeah. So, I did unfortunately have to forfeit my fourth final year of NCAA swimming to be our coordinator, is the term for my household at Franciscan, which is a hard decision for sure. As far as affecting my game, I definitely am not as well shape that I have been in the past, since I'm not working out at least 2 hours every single day. but I have been keeping up in my athletics. I've been running around campus a lot and going to our small and humble gym and weightlifting and things like that. So overall, I think it won't have a whole lot of effect on my playing abilities, but it definitely overall shape. It has my body has been affected, I guess, over this forfeiting of my swimming career.
Gotcha. And if I hear it right, you've also been swimming upstream, right? The Ohio River is right off campus, and I hear you've been, jumping in and dodging barges as they come through, and just swimming upstream, and then light work.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. That Ohio River water, very good at you can definitely grow a third arm and get some nasty infections. It's a good time for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess you're so fast that the infections don't have time to latch on. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm so above the game that it just doesn't affect. I can just do whatever I want. No harm comes when I'm in the Ohio River.
Gotcha. Right. Yeah. So dodging barges and viruses and third arm growing bacterias and all that stuff. Yeah. Cool. Cool. So, okay, I'm curious. We talked about it last episode. Mm-hmm. We recently welcomed, cousin Olivia, as well as many others, right, into the family. And I'm curious, since you're closer to them than I am, right, who do you see as someone who can come in this year and affect the game? As well as, doesn't even have to be this year, for years to come. Do you see any like high potential prospects, people that you think could really make their mark?
It's a good question. I would say the first person that came to mind is Steven. I guess your cousin Steven. He is a very much so working out kind of guy, and he likes to do athletic things. So I think he has great potential for the game this season and future seasons to come. And I think for later years, my niece Gemma, she is very much so taking after her mother and is very athletic and competitive and has a passion for doing her best and trying to win. So I think Gemma has great potential for the long years to come of our good Thanksgiving Cranberry Bowl.
That's awesome. Yeah, I sure would hope to eventually see her in the game. And we hold high expectations of cousin Rebecca because, the legend of Uncle John. I wonder if maybe Gemma could be someone who could maybe carry the torch of Uncle John if Rebecca doesn't quite come through on, live up to her potential.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I could see Gemma being a definite possibility to keep that torch going strong.
Gotcha. Cool. Do you remember your first Cranberry Bowl?
I remember playing when I was younger. I don't know if I necessarily remember my first time. I'm not sure how old I was.
Okay.
When I first played.
But you remember maybe the first few times or the first couple of times. You remember playing when you were really young.
Yeah, I do remember starting as a young tot in the game.
Gotcha. What do you think since then, right? You've played in countless Cranberry Bowls and been a key feature in most of them. What do you think has really changed, I guess, as the years have gone on? What are some things that it looks like now that it didn't really look or feel like back when you first started?
I think as a whole, I would say back when the beginning years of our annual game was a lot more for fun, and I feel like scores weren't really a big deal, if I'm remembering correctly. It was just all about having everyone have fun and letting especially the little kids get all the points. And I think definitely we've developed over the years to still have that very fun aspect and atmosphere, yet we also have grown a love and a fierce competition for what team will win each year. So who can hold the trophy for the year. So yeah, I think it's developed in its outlook on how we actually are wanting to get the game to go instead of just more let's all get along. Yet there's still also that nice family fun bonding that's going on.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's certainly gotten more competitive, that's for sure. I remember I don't remember if it was the first time I played or one of the first times, and I talked about it last episode. I remember cousin Will Hoffpower, he said something to the effect of, if they bleed less than a pint, then it's not a foul. You know what I mean? So I feel like as the years have gone on, we've gotten more and more in tune with that. I feel like at first that was kind of a joke,
Right.
but
now it's
Reese. Right, exactly. We had Uncle Mike. He broke a rib, maybe a few ribs, something like that, last year, or I guess 2 years ago. And Ronnie, she broke her wrist.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like it's gotten a bit more tough.
Yeah, I guess also as we've gotten older and stronger and bigger, we don't really know our strengths sometimes. Go too hardcore. So it happens though. It's all for the game.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Before I introduced you, I was thinking about, the draft in the past, and it's mostly been based off of height. We match up people based on height. And I was like, man, Evelyn's pretty tall. Is she, there's no way. Are you the tallest girl relative?
Oh, absolutely
I don't
not.
think so.
No.
No, absolutely not. Okay.
Absolutely not. Well, Lori is, very tall. I think she's the tallest girl. I would say Lori. I think I'm up in there in the tallness rank, which I'm more of an average height. So, but I think I am in the upper end of height. But I think Lori is definitely the tallest of the girl cousins, unless I'm missing someone. But I don't think I am.
Okay. Yeah, I know, because we talked about Karen as well last episode, and I know she's gotten taller. I know Ronnie's pretty tall, and Maggie's also tall. Cousin Ronnie and cousin Maggie, of course. But I think cousin Ronnie is the tallest of the Cannon family.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is your mom? Is she taller than Lori, or is Lori the tallest in
Lori's
your family?
The tallest in our family.
Okay.
My mom is a little taller than me, but not Lori tall.
Okay. How tall are you?
I'm 5'4.5".
Okay. Yeah, I think cousin Ronnie is like 5. I don't want to misspeak, but I think she's like 5'8" or 5'9" or something like that.
She's grown a lot over the years.
Well, I guess that says something of your personality and presence, that I would have thought that you possibly could have been the tallest girl relative. Because, I guess 5'4.5", that's nothing but a wee lad, a wee lass, I guess I should say.
I guess my personality makes me taller, which that's a good and bad thing, I guess, at times, depending on what and what aspect you're looking at. So.
Right, exactly. All right, so I guess, before I know you got a busy schedule and you got work coming up here, but before I let you go, I got a couple questions for you. We spoke a little bit about Gemma earlier, and I'm curious, do you have any advice for younger kids who one day, kids, they grow up dreaming that they could play in the Cranberry Bowl, and I'm curious, do you have any advice for any young tots, any young pups who dream of playing in the game, and what they could do to either prepare or, like what they could do now to get in the game and get going?
Yeah. If they want to take the lead and play now, they just got to have that enthusiasm and not be afraid to go after it. I know when I was younger, I at least was afraid of catching the ball because I thought it would hurt. So, not having fear and just having fun with it. Also, I guess expecting to maybe get hurt, but, being okay with that. It's a great way to get involved at a young age. And as they grow up, just to prepare, keep a healthy lifestyle and exercise, eat good food, and, take care of yourself as a whole person, and everything will just work out, and keep that competitive Albano family trait going strong.
Of course. And the spiritual aspect is something that can't be understated either. There's spirituality is a big part of the game and the family. So I feel like that would be something else that people could really work on to prepare themselves. Because this really is, it's a spiritual journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
All right, cool. Well, before I let you go, is there anything else you wanted to talk about before I let you on your way?
No, I just really appreciate you having me on, Nate, and I'm excited for the outcome of this game this upcoming Thanksgiving and for futures to come. Really excited to see how the game develops. So.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thanks, Evelyn. I'll let you go. Get on your way.